So those symptoms may be seen in someone who also does not have bhava also. If we're only seeing sattvic symptoms, this is not proof in itself that bhava bhakti has manifested. Rupa Goswami gives the elephant an example of an elephant and a fish or a piece of cotton. For example, someone may have very Vishla Swabhav, means their heart may be very shallow, very emotional, like women, for example, don't mind. But very easily they cry, very easily they become angry. So only we may see ecstatic symptoms, this may not be proof. For example, the sahajas, they become very expert at shedding tears, choking voice. There was one sahaja very famous in the time of Sri Saraswati Thakur. Very big name he had. Radhacharandas Babaji, maybe that was him. Very huge following he had. So Srila, one time he saw Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he said, come to me. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, always stay very far away from him. He was always, he had two disciples, always on either side. And when chanting Harinam or speaking Katha, one disciple was wiping tears, another one wiping nose, cleaning up his drool. 24 hours he was like this, always like showing like us to sattvic bhava. And one time Srila Sridhar said he was there in Puri and this man was giving class. And some auntie was there and tears were coming. Flowing from his mouth, mucus from his nose. Two disciples wiping. Then Auntie finished, then the gong went for prasad. Dum. Then immediately for prasad. And Srila Sridhar said, how possible, like he can turn his bhava on and off like that? Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, he did not know if it was day or night. So much he was absorbed. Not that the bell rings for prasad and then after something is broken and we go for reasons. So these symptoms may come in someone who has slippery heart, Vishli Swabhav, and very emotional. Like one time one devotee was giving class and he was too much crying. The Guru asked, why are you crying? I'm not crying. And so I said, oh, it seems you have more bhava bhakti than Gurudev, so much tear is coming, voices choking. So only Astasattvic symptoms may be a sign also. But generally we see in very high class devotees, they're not manifesting Astasattvic bhakti. How many times a year Gurudev cries on stage? How many times? Maybe once, twice. And Gurudev little choke for a minute, then again he speaks. For Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj 2 or 3 times in all those years we see Astasattvic bhakti. Because their heart is like an ocean. So even like big whales jump in the ocean is not disturbed. Even big Astasattvic bhavas are felt in the heart of a devotee, but that devotee's heart is like an ocean. You'll see no ecstatic symptoms in the anubhavs. Those actions which follow this current of bhava, they're called anubhavs, like singing, shouting, roaring, dancing, rolling on the ground. These are anubhavs. Like Gopishada's Babaji Maharaj says, like a chaste woman never shows her body in public. She'll be very careful not to reveal parts of her body to strangers. In the same way, a high-class devotee will be very careful not to show his Astasattvic bhavas in the body. So also Rupa Goswami gave the example of an elephant. If you see an elephant in the city, of course this is 500 years ago. If you see an elephant in the city, maybe you won't even notice it. Because so many elephants and bullock carts and motorcycles. So even a big animal like an elephant in the city, this will be nothing wonderful. Maybe look. And in the village, if an elephant goes through, then everyone, oh look, elephant. Everyone becomes very excited. So only the symptoms of Astasattvic bhava, this is no proof of bhava bhakti. Of course it may be, it may not be also. I remember Gurudev used to say, if you see someone crying in the temple and rolling on the ground, you can go and kick them in the face. And if they keep on crying and rolling the ground, they catch their feet because they have no bodily concession, they're martyrs. But if you kick them in the face, hey, why you kick me this, that? All they still have bodily concession. And this can be achieved by practice, or someone has a emotional makeup. Like one story you may have heard many times, there was one Muslim He was giving lecture in the mosque. And he was giving lecture. One woman was in the back, too much crying. And no one else is crying. For many years, no one cried in his lecture, but every day his lady is crying. So then that woman asked, my dear, Mataji, you don't mind. When I give lecture, you cry, but no one else cries. What is there in my lecture that strikes your heart? And she said, before I had one goat, buck. It was Muslim always growing their beard like this, like a goat. Then he ran away and I lost him. And when you give lecture, you move your head like this. And I remember that goat and I cried. So really, only after Sapi Bhavs, not proof of the presence of bhava. What is the Chitta Masti? Now the real proof is the heart is completely melted. That is also very hard to understand. Whose heart is melted and whose heart is not melted. Therefore, 9 symptoms of Shanti, Antikalapa, Virakta Mana Sumita, Asabanga Samika, Sadharana, Vinakya, Rikudistat Vastesa. These 9 symptoms of bhava. So if we see these 9 symptoms there, then this is a good help, indication in that person bhava bhakti has. Even though many reasons may be there to become disturbed, that devotee who is not disturbed, then we could say he has the quality of Shanti. Like Parikshit Maharaj. So Chirkamai should say, we heard we'll go to die in 7 days, what will we do? Give up everything and hear Bhagavatam? No. We'd run to this doctor, please stay with me. Then we'd run to this doctor, this doctor. Parikshit Maharaj, you have 7 days to live. He renounced everything bad, peacefully and happy. He heard happy. Antikalapa, but Antikalapa. Shanti, Antikalapa. They never waste even a moment of time. Sometimes, what do you mean? They're sleeping 8 hours a day? But you cannot see how their service to Krishna continues 24 hours. Very hard to understand the devotion. One time I asked Maharaj, don't mind, but what is your seva? Humbly I asked. It's very hard, we cannot understand devotees. If they are kind to us, then we can understand. Maharaj, please don't mind, but what is your seva? You don't seem to do very much. Don't mind, please, I'm wondering. Then he said, my seva is thinking. I have to think for everyone. Because in Gaudiya Smriti, no sannyasi is thinking, I have to think for them also. How they are doing Manasi Seva, we cannot understand. They never waste a second. Like Gurudev, always some chanting, some reading, some thinking, some giving instruction. 24 hours a day, some saying. Virat, they're completely detached. No attachments for it. Any material thing, their attachment to Radha is to Radha Krishna. And even if we see some attachment in them, that attachment is also for Radha Krishna. Like one time someone gave a chadar to Sri Gaur Kishodas Babaji. A nice chadar. Some 5 rupees donation. So Babaji Maharaj was going through pastimes of Brahmanas. Again and again he was feeling that chadar. And again he was checking, my 5 rupees is there. And one man was criticizing, oh, Babaji is very attached. And Saraswati Thakur said, fool, you cannot understand the mind of a Vaishnava. He is encouraging that man who gave the chadar the 5 rupees. Encouraging him in Vaishnava Seva. Guru Maharaj said, imagine if we gave something to Gurudev very nicely. Oh, I have so many rupees. How would we feel? We want to be encouraged. And Gurudev may have 5 rupees. Every one time old Chinese giving so many things. 2 years ago. Sweets, Chinese this, that, seaweed, this. Socks, this, like one mountain. And everything, oh Gurudev, thank you. Everything. Gurudev never eating sweet, what was the Chinese sweet? Gurudev never eating any sweet. They're giving him maybe 20 kilos of sweets in every box. And that attachment is also to encourage us in Virat Manasi. They never demand respect. Even though they're worthy of worship, they never demand it. The Guru never says, you should worship me. But by his bhajan and instruction, the disciple feels, oh, I should serve you. He never demands respect. Asabanga. He always has great hope. Krishna must give mercy. Krishna must give mercy. Samutkanta. Always enthusiastic in performing devotion. They are Shakti always attached to chanting Harikatha. Like Srila Saraswati Thakur in the end of his life, the devotees, the doctor said, don't speak so much. Then the disciple said, Gurudev, how are you? He said, I'm fine, but I cannot speak Harikatha. That is my only problem. Always enthusiastic to speak Katha, Sadanam, Gadaruchi. Always have taste for chanting the name of Sri Krishna. Shaktis Tadgunakya. They are very attached to the pastime places of Sri Krishna. Even they may leave Vrindavan or Mayapur on some seva, they are always thinking, when I can go to Vrindavan, when I can go to Vrindavan. So we see these 9 symptoms in the devotee, and there is a good chance that Bhava Bhakti has awoken. So just one thing. Okay. That's enough. Vancha Kalpatri was trying to see.
So one of the 9 symptoms mentioned, Namagana Sadauchi, a taste to always chant the holy name, eagerness to always chant the holy name. This is the primary symptom of the appearance of bhava, and all the rest of them are secondary symptoms. One more symptom is samutkanta, intense eagerness to get service, to get the Lord, to see the Lord. So one shloka that is brought in the Chaitanya Charitamrita as an example of utkanta, or samutkanta, and Sripad Madhusudana Maharaj has already mentioned, is one of the prayers that Vritasura prayed. Ajata pakshaiva mataram kagas danyam yatavat satsarakshudharta priyam priyeva yushitam vishana manor vindakshadi dikshate tvam. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds whose wings are not even grown, yet always look for the mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes wait anxiously for the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of the mother, or as a beloved whose lover is far away, always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. So now 3 kinds of eagerness, or 3 kinds of separation are mentioned here. And as was mentioned before, the calves are very eager to drink the milk of the cow. They pull on the rope, and they cry for the mother. But as soon as they're allowed to drink, and they're drunk enough, then they're not interested anymore. Then, the first one is the baby birds. They cry for the mother, come and feed me, but as soon as they're fed, they go to sleep, not interested, lose the eagerness. Then the baby calf is in more eagerness, cries for the mother, but after he drinks, then again, he goes to sleep, he goes away satisfied. But when a beloved is missing her lover, actually Priyam Priyava could refer to husband and wife, but Gurudev explains that this actually refers to lover and beloved. So when a beloved is eager for her lover to come back, actually because she wants to please him in all respects, then when that person returns and they have a meeting, then she would serve him and she would not lose the enthusiasm to serve him. That enthusiasm will remain all the time. So Gurudev explains that this is the first time in the Bhagavatam, that's in the 6th canto, that that Shukadeva Goswami has touched Gopi Bhav, because really Priyam Priyava refers to the love of the gopis. It's a hint of the love of the gopis. And Parikshit Maharaj telling Vritasura's prayers, like hinting at the mood of the gopis. They always want to satisfy Krishna, and that eagerness never goes away. It's always there, it's steady. So this is one example of one symptom of bhava called samutkanta. Panchakara is japa, because in the grab japa, it cannot go on the yoga.
Shikshashtakam prayer is very important. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has invested all Siddhanta, Sambandha, Videya, Prajna Tattvas are present in these verses. We're very fortunate to be here in Vrindavan in the association of exalted Vaishnavas, hearing comments and discussing these Shikshashtakam prayers. Bhaktishta Bhagavad Bhakta Sangha Parajayate Satsanga Prabhute Kumbir Shukati Pura Sanjita. In the association of devotees, then we can obtain bhakti. Without the association of devotees, then it is very difficult to enter into bhakti.